Okay, welcome to ICSC Tool Time, and we have a wonderful panel today. We have Russ back here, Russ Schoen from Chicago. We have Roger Firestein from Williamsville. We have Mike Fox from Military Road, and I'm Susan Keller-Mathers, and this is CRS 670 class, and some of our alumni. So welcome to all of our discussion members today. We're going to go through quite a few tools today and just talk about what are some tips, best practices, how to use it effectively, and also we're going to look at some of the applications. So we're going to start with, I get to pick the one,
You
right?
get to pick.
Let me see what I want to start with. I think we will start with what's stopping you? So I picked a Divergent tool for 50. And talk a little bit about what it is. So this particular tool is a Divergent tool, and it is, it helps define the, through a ladder of abstraction, whether you need to have an item be more broad or more narrow, whether you need to redefine it in different ways using usually a problem statement. So there are several ways that this can be used. For example, you can, when you're in a client meeting, if you are going to begin with generating ideas and you want to confirm the problem statement that you have is at the appropriate level of abstraction and also that it is one that the client wants to commit to, you can ask the question why to go up the ladder and what's stopping you to go down the ladder. And then they can choose what problem statement to go forward with, and then you confirm that it has all the parts that you want, and it's a good, well-stated problem statement.
You can also ask why else of the original challenge statement, so that you don't go way up so high and abstract at the outset, and then what else is stopping you?
So other applications of the tool, we have also in a session at that moment if you need to redefine a problem, and it doesn't need to be so broad that you need many alternative problem statements that are much different than the one you have. You can even do it on the fly when you have that problem statement.
Also, it's great individually. Just put a challenge statement in the middle of a sheet of paper, ask why else, and then what's stopping you. And it's a really powerful tool.
Yep. So what else is stopping you?
What else is stopping you, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that I do with a client when they come to me with a challenge like a facilitation, one of the first questions I ask is, why do you want to do that? And then the next one is usually, and what's stopping you from doing that? So I get an instant bracketing right out of the gate at a client meeting.
And that's a good point, because a lot of times we do it very naturally. And rather than getting even the piece of paper and saying we're going to do this tool, it might be, really? Why? Why else? What are the things that are getting in your way? What's stopping you? Russ, anything else along that?
Yeah, I think a specific application as well is in strategic planning sessions. It can be very useful when working with a client group and they're going after a particular vision to ask, from their current state, why do they want to move towards the big vision, and also what's stopping you. So I use it quite often in terms of strategic planning sessions and really any other group session where you're in the clarification stage.
One of the things you have to watch out for with this tool is that when you ask why and they give the answer, it's not stated as a how-to. So you need to ask them, can you restate that as a how-to? How might I? In what ways might I? Oftentimes you might need to help them with that. So unlike other tools where they say it and something gets put up, it's almost a three-step process. So you really have to help a client. That's one of the reasons that I won't often have them do it on Post-its. I will keep control of the marker. And that way I can help make sure that things are stated right by coaching them.
Because when you ask why, they're going to give you an answer, and then you want to turn that into a challenge statement or a problem statement. And it really kind of, when they're first starting out, to try to turn it right into a problem statement is often problematic. So just have them talk about it first and then turn it into a problem statement or a challenge statement.
Questions from any of you? Applications, ways you used it?
I often find that if I have a large group who are all working on the same original challenge statement, I might break them up into smaller groups and have each group work on what's stopping them from addressing that. And that way they get many different flavors of their original challenge statement. And they find that they've covered more ground as a large group towards the original goal that way.
So rather than having a small group where everybody's working towards the same thing or an individual, you can break it down in each table then.
Yes.
I find that it can also hit a lot of triggers with people, a lot of non-functional emotional triggers.
Yeah.
So I think you have to use it quite judiciously and know
Right,
who your
have to be
target
careful with
is.
it.
Yeah, it does become, some people even say it sounds like group therapy, you know, or it sounds like individual
Or threatening.
therapy. Or threatening, you know, as I keep asking me why.
It also helps to get from root causes, manifestations of a problem to the root cause. So when we ask the question why something has been bothering you, then you might get to the root cause of a problem rather than just solving a symptom.
All right, so that is why, what's stopping you?